how we think about the present and we focus on the future goals. I think that's all. This is what I understood.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
that's
Yes,
great. Yeah.
yes.
Thank you, thank you. And in fact,
Mansi,
however we explain, it's a wonderful conversation and a dialogue. So I would insist that you go and read, so you'll get a better idea than we explaining it. Okay, so let's start. We need two people, preferably a lady and a gentleman. So who would like to go ahead today? So yesterday we read that way and it was beautiful to listen. So
I
a
will
man might
do that.
read the good part and a lady might read the philosopher's part. So who would read? Yeah,
I will,
Rajkumar,
yes.
you can just read the youth wala lines, whatever they are, and then the other person or your partner will read the philosopher's part. That's how we are reading from yesterday.
Okay, thank you.
Mansi, I have a
Sorry to
question.
interrupt. Manishji wanted to say something, Mansi.
Actually, from yesterday reading, I didn't get the gist of the insight. Actually, honestly, like what did we
Manoj, you
learn
will
out?
have to read it to get the gist. So you please go ahead and read it after this, and as we go further reading it, you'll get a better idea.
Okay,
So yeah, because otherwise it we won't be able to get started now. So yeah,
okay, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So
People
who's reading?
fabricate anger, youth.
Yeah, yeah. Just a minute, Rajkumar ji, Rajkumar sir. Who else is accompanying Rajkumar sir? Like I did not see that. Any who was reading with him? Anyone? Uh, anyone wants to read? Preferably, okay, okay. Let me read. I'll read with you, sir, and
Okay,
maybe two other people can just put their names for reading further. Okay, chalo. We'll start. Yeah, go on,
yes.
go on.
Youth, yesterday afternoon, I was reading a book in a coffee shop when a waiter passed by and spilled coffee on my jacket. I had just bought it and it is my nicest place of clothing. I could not help it. I just blew my top. I yelled at him at the top of my lungs. I'm not extremely, I'm not normally the type of person who speaks loudly in public places. But yesterday, the shop was ringing with the sound of my shouting because I flew into a rage and forgot what I was doing. So, how about that? Is there any room for a goal to be involved here? No matter how you look at it, is not this behavior that originates from a cause?
So you were stimulated by the emotion of anger and ended up shouting. Though you are normally mild mannered, you couldn't resist being angry. It was an unavoidable occurrence and you couldn't do anything about it. Is that what you're saying?
You, youth, yes, because it happened so suddenly. The words just came out of my mouth before I had time to think.
Then suppose you happen to have had a knife on you yesterday and when you blew it up, you got carried away and stabbed him. Would you still be able to justify that by saying it was an unavoidable occurrence and I couldn't do anything about it?
Come on, that is a extreme argument.
It is not an extreme argument. If we proceed with your reasoning, any offense committed in anger can be blamed on anger and will no longer be the responsibility of the person because essentially you are saying that people cannot control their emotions.
Well, how do you explain my anger then?
That's easy. You did not fly into a rage and then start shouting. It is solely that you got angry so that you couldn't shout. In other words, sorry for the distance. I'll just read that again. That's easy. You did not fly into a rage and then start shouting. It is solely that you got angry so that you couldn't shout. In other words, in order to fulfill the goal of shouting, you created the emotion of anger.
What do you mean?
The goal of shouting came from before anything else. That is to say, by shouting, you wanted to make the waiter submit to you and listen to what you had to say. As a means to do that, you fabricated the emotion of anger.
I fabricated it. You have got to be joking.
Then, why did you raise your voice?
As I said before, I blew my top. I was deeply frustrated.
No, you could have explained matters without raising your voice, and the waiter would most likely have given you a sincere apology, wiped your jacket with a clean cloth, and taken other appropriate measures. He might have even arranged for it to be dry cleaned. And somewhere in your mind, you were anticipating that he might do these things, but even so, you shouted. The procedure of explaining things in normal words felt like too much trouble, and you tried to get out of that and make this unresisting person submit to you. The tool you used to do this was the emotion of anger.
No way. You can't fool me. I manufactured anger in order to make him submit to me. I swear to you, there was not even a second to think of such a thing. I did not think it over and then get angry. Anger is more impulsive action. Anger is a more impulsive emotion.
That's right. Anger is an instantaneous emotion. Now, listen, I have a story. One day, a mother and daughter were quarreling loudly. Then suddenly, the telephone rang. Hello, the mother picked up the receiver hurriedly, her voice still thick with anger. The caller was her daughter's homeroom teacher. As soon as the mother realized who was phoning, the tone of her voice changed and she became very polite. Then, for the next 5 minutes or so, she carried on a conversation in her best telephone voice. Once she hung up, in a moment, her expression changed again and she went straight back to yelling at her daughter.
Well, that is not a particularly unusual story.
Don't you see? In a word, anger is a tool that can be taken out as needed. It can be put away the moment the phone rings and pulled out again after one hangs up. The mother isn't yelling in anger she cannot control. She's simply using the anger to overpower her daughter with a loud voice and thereby assert her opinions.
So, anger is a means to achieve a goal?
That is what teleology says.
Ah, I see now. Under that gentle looking mask you wear, you are terribly ni- nihilistic. Whether we are talking about anger or my recursive friend, all your insights are stuffed with feelings of distrust for human beings.
Okay, it's a new part starting. Anyone else wants to take up? It was fun.
Yeah,
Yesterday I was
really
more of
enjoying.
a
Hmm.
yeah, it is Rajesh's idea yesterday who gave us this idea of doing it this way for this book. It was nice, huh? So yeah, anyone else who
I
would
would
like to read? Yeah. Anjali. Yeah, Anjali can take over. Anyone else? Or Rajkumar, sir, you would like to continue with Anjali again?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anjali, you take over then, and you both read then. Go on, go on.
Okay. So I'll be talking about the philosopher. I'll be taking up the philosopher part.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir. How to live without being controlled by the past. How am I being nihilistic?
Think about it. Simply put, you deny human emotion. You say that emotions are nothing more than tools, that they are just the means for achieving goals. But listen, if you deny emotion, you are upholding a view that tries to deny our humanity too, because it is our emotions and the fact that we are swayed by all sorts of feelings that make us human. If emotions are denied, humans will be nothing more than poor excuses for machines. If that is not nihilation, then what is? This word I'm not understanding, so I'm not enjoying fully this nihilation.
1 minute, sir. Let me check. Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
The rejection of all religious and moral principles in the belief that life is meaningless. Nihilism means the rejection of all religious and moral principles.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Yeah,
I
we can carry on. Hmm.
I that emotion exists. Everyone has emotions. That goes without saying. But if you are going to tell me that people are being who can't resist emotion, I would argue against that. Adlerian psychology is a form of thought, a philosophy that is diametrically opposed to nihilism. We are not controlled by emotion. In this sense, while it shows that people are not controlled by emotion, additionally, it shows that we are not controlled by the past.
So people are not controlled either by emotion or the past.
Okay, for example, suppose there is someone whose parents had divorced in his past. Isn't this something objective, the same as the well water that is always 60 degrees? But then, does that divorce feel cold or does it feel warm? So, this is a now thing, a subjective thing. Regardless of what may have happened in the past, it is the meaning that is attributed to it that determines the way someone's present will be.
The question is not what happened, but how was it resolved?
Exactly. We can't go back in the past in a time machine. We can't turn back the hands of time. If you end up staying in etiology, you will be bound by the past and never be able to find happiness.
That is right. We can't change the past, and that is precisely why life is so hard.
Life isn't just hard. If the past determined everything and couldn't be changed, we who are living today would no longer be able to take effective steps forward in our lives. What would happen as a result? We would end up with a kind of nihilism and pessimism that loses hope in the world and gives up on life. The Freudian etiology that is typified by the trauma argument is determinism in a different form, and it is the road to nihilism. Are you going to accept values like that?
I don't want to accept them, but the past is so powerful.
Think of the possibilities. If one assumes that people are being who can change, a set of values based on etiology becomes untenable, and one is compelled to take the position of teleology as a matter of course.
So you are saying that one should always take the take the people can change premise.
Of course, and please understand, it is the Freudian etiology that denies our free will and treats humans like machines.
The young man paused and glanced around the philosopher's study. Floor to ceiling bookshelves filled the walls, and on a small wooden desk by a fountain lay a fountain pen and what appeared to be a partially written manuscript. People are not driven by past causes, but move toward goals that they themselves set. That was the philosopher's claim. The teleology he expounded was an idea that overturned at the root the causality of respectable psychology, and the young man found that impossible to accept. So, from which standpoint should he start to argue it? The youth took a deep breath.
Okay, new part is starting. Anyone else wants to read? Any two other people?
Yeah, I can read. Yeah.
Okay, and who would like to accompany Manishji? Any lady from the group?
Mm.
Okay, Anjali, you would continue?
Yeah, I'll continue. Yeah. If no
Okay,
one
go on.
else is there, I'll continue.
Okay, okay, no problem. Yeah, go on, go on. Yeah.
Okay, Socrates and Adler. All right, let me tell you about another friend of mine, a man named Y. He is the kind of person who has always had a bright personality and talks easily to anyone. He is like a sunflower. Everyone loves him, and people smile whenever he is around. In contrast, I am someone who has never had an easy time socially and who is kind of wrapped or who is kind of warped in various ways. Now, you are claiming that people can change through Adler's teleology.
Yes, you and I and everyone can change.
Then do you think I could become someone like you, like Y? From the bottom of my heart, I really wish I could be like him.
At this point, I would have to say that's totally out of the question.
Aha. Now you are showing your true colors. So are you going to retract your theory?
No, I'm not. Unfortunately, you have almost no understanding of Adlerian psychology yet. The first step to change is knowing.
So if I can understand just something about Adlian psychology, can I become a person like Y?
Why are you rushing for answers? You should arrive at answers on your own, not rely upon what you get from someone else. Answers from others are nothing more than stopgap measures, they are of no value. Take Socrates, who left no one book actually written by himself. Sorry, take Socrates, who left not one book actually written by himself. He spent his days having public debates with the citizens of Athens, especially the young, and it was his disciple Plato who put his philosophy into writing for future generations. Adler, too, showed little interest in literary activities, preferring to engage in personal dialogue at cafes at Vienna and hold small discussion groups. He was definitely not an armchair intellectual.
Mhm. So Socrates and Adler both conveyed their ideas by dialogue.
That's right. All your doubts will be dispelled through this dialogue, and you will begin to change. Not by my words, but by your own doing. I do not want to take away that valuable process of arriving at answers through dialogue.
So are we going to try and reenact the kind of dialogue that Socrates and Adler carried out? Is this little study?
Isn't that good enough for you?
That's what I'm hoping to find out. So let us take it as far as we can. until either you retract your theory or I bow before you.
Are you okay just as you are? Philosopher, sorry. Okay, let's go back to your query. So you would like to be a more upbeat person, like why?
But you just rejected that and said it was out of the question. Well, I guess that is just how it is. I was just saying that to give you a hard time. I know myself well though. I could never be someone like that.
Why not?
It's obvious because we have different personalities, or I guess you could say dispositions.
Hmm.
You, for instance, live surrounded by all these books. You read a new book and gain new knowledge. Basically, you keep accumulating knowledge. The more you read, the more your knowledge increases. You find new concepts of value, and it seems to you that they change you. Look, I hate to break it to you, but no matter how much knowledge you gain, your disposition or personality is not going to basically change. If your base gets skewed, all you have learned will be useless. Yes, all the knowledge you have acquired will come crashing down under you, and then the next thing you know, you will be back to where you started. And the same goes for Adler's ideas. No matter how many facts I may try to accumulate about him, they are not going to have any effect on my personality. Knowledge just gets piled up as knowledge until sooner or later it is discarded.
Then let me ask you this. Why do you think you want to be like why? I guess you just want to be a different person, whether it's a why or someone else. But what is the goal of that?
You are talking about goals again. As I said earlier, it is just that I admire him and I think I would be happy if I were like him.
You think you would be happier if you were like him, which means that you are not happy now, right?
What?
Right now, you are unable to feel really happy. This is because you have not learned to love yourself. And to try to love yourself, you are wishing to be reborn as a different person. You are hoping to become like Y and throw away who you are now. Correct?
Yes, I guess that is right. Let us face it, I hate myself. I, the one who is doing this, playing around with old fashioned philosophical discourse, and who just can't help doing this sort of thing. Yes, I really hate myself.
That's all right. If you were to ask around for people who say they like themselves, you would be hard pressed to find someone who would puff up his or her chest with pride and say, yes, I like myself.
How about you? Do you like yourself?
At the very least, I do not think I would like to be a different person and I accept who I am.
You accept who you are.
Look, no matter how much you want to be Y, you cannot be reborn as him. You are not Y. It's okay for you to be you. However, I'm not saying it's fine to be just as you are. If you are unable to really feel happy, then it's clear that things aren't right just as they are. You have got to put one foot in front of the other and not stop.
That is a harsh way of putting it, but I get your point. It is clear that I am not right just the way I am. I have got to move forward.
To quote Adler again, the important thing is not what one is born with, but what use one makes of that equipment. You want to be Y or someone else because you are utterly focused on what you were born with. Instead, you have got to focus on what you can make of your equipment.
Okay,
Unhappiness is
great.
some.
Yeah,
Hmm?
just a minute. Just a minute. Anyone else wants to read? Any two other people?
Is my voice coming clearly? So then I can.
Yes, Viren. Yeah. Who would like to accompany Viren? Anjali has been reading for a while, so she might want to take a break. Yeah, Anjali?
For me, it's fine, Mansi. If you want, you can just take up now.
Yeah, I
No, no,
may.
I
Acha,
don't, but
Suman.
someone else might. Yeah, yeah. Suman and Viren can go on. Go on,
Yes.
go on.
Yeah. So unhappiness is something you choose for yourself. No way. That's unreasonable.
Just be
Why?
a little louder, Viren. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a second.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Suman.
Why is it unreasonable?
Just give me a second.
Okay, okay.
You want someone to take up for a while, Viren? You want some more time? You're not audible, I think.
I
Yeah,
can read
I think
and join, I
you
think.
have, I think, yeah, Viren, you're not audible, I think.
Okay, I will read Mansi then, right?
Yeah, yeah. Is there anyone else who has not read and want to read? Like, if there is no one, then manage you continue. Uh,
Okay. Why? Some people are born into affluent circumstances with parents who are nice, and others are born poor with bad parents. Because that is how the world is. And I don't really want to get into this sort of subject. But things are not equal to the world. But things are not equal in the world, and differences between race, nationality, and ethnicity remain as deep as ever. It is only natural to focus on what you were born with. All your talk is just academic theory. You are ignoring the real world.
It is you who is ignoring reality. Does fixating on what you are born with change the reality? We are not replaceable machines. It is not replacement we need, but renewal.
To me, replacement
I
and
think just a minute, Maniji. I think Viren want to read now. Viren, are you ready?
So,
He was
yeah,
trying.
the voice is coming clearly,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I
yeah.
can
Now
proceed.
it is coming. Now it is coming. Earlier it was not
Okay.
audible. Yeah, yeah, Maniji, let Viren take up now. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. You both go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, replacement and renewal are one and the same. You are avoiding the main point. Look, there is such a thing as unhappiness from birth. Please acknowledge that, first of all.
I will not acknowledge that.
Why?
For one thing, right now, you are unable to feel real happiness. You find living hard and even wish you could be reborn as a different person. But you are unhappy now because you yourself chose being unhappy, not because you were born under an unlucky star.
I chose to be unhappy. How can I possibly accept that?
There is nothing extraordinary about it. It has been repeated ever since the classical Greek era. Have you heard the saying, no one desires evil? It is a proposition generally known as a Socratic paradox.
There is no shortage of people who desire evil. Is there? Of course. There are plenty of thieves and murderers. And don't forget all the politicians and officials with their shady deals. It's probably harder to find a truly good, upright person who does not desire evil.
Without question, there is no shortage of behavior that is evil. But no one, not even the most hardened criminal, becomes involved in crime purely out of a desire to engage in evil acts. Every criminal has an internal justification for getting involved in a crime. A dispute over money leads someone to engage in murder, for instance. To the perpetrator, it is something for which there is a justification and which can be restated as an accomplishment of good. Of course, this is not good in a moral sense, but good in the sense of being of benefit to oneself.
Of benefit to oneself.
The Greek word for good, agathon, does not have a moral meaning. It just means beneficial. Conversely, the word for evil, kakon, means not beneficial. Our world is rife with injustices and misdeeds of all kinds. Yet there is not one person who desires evil in the purest sense of the word. That is to say, something not beneficial.
What does this have to do with me?
At some stage in your life, you chose being unhappy. It is not because you were born into unhappy circumstances or ended up in an unhappy situation. It is that you judged being unhappy to be good for you.
Why? What for?
How do you justify this? Why did you choose to be unhappy? I have no way of knowing the specific answer or details. Perhaps it will become clearer as we debate this.
You are really trying to make a fool of me. You think this passes for philosophy. I do not accept this at all. So, in
In,
spite of himself, yeah,
yeah,
please, go.
yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
In spite of himself, the young man got up and glared at the philosopher. I chose an unhappy life because it was good for me. What an absurd argument. Why is he going to such lengths to ridicule me? What did I go wrong? I will dismantle this argument. No matter what it takes, I will make him kneel before me. The young man's face flushed with excitement.
Yeah. People always choose not to change. Sit down. As things stand, it is only natural that our views clash. I will now give a simple explanation as to the manner in which humans are understood in Adlerian psychology.
Okay, but please be brief.
Earlier, you said that any person's disposition or personality cannot be changed. In Adlerian psychology, we describe personality and disposition with the word lifestyle.
Lifestyle?
Yes, lifestyle is the tendencies of thought and actions in life.
Tendencies of thought and actions.
How one sees the world and how one sees oneself. Think of a lifestyle as a concept, bringing together these ways of finding meaning. In a narrow sense, lifestyle could be defined as someone's personality. Taken more broadly, it is a word that encompasses the worldview of that person and his or her outlook on life.
A person's view of the world.
Say, there is someone who worries about himself and says, I am a pessimist. One could rephrase that to instead say, I have a pessimistic view of the world. You could consider that the issue is not personality, but rather the view of the world. It seems that the word personality is nuanced and suggests being unchangeable. But if we are talking about a view of the world, well, then that should be possible to alter.
Hmm, this is kind of confusing. When you speak of a lifestyle, do you mean a way of living?
Yes, you could put it that way. To be a little more accurate, it is the way one's life should be. You probably think of disposition or personality as something with which you are endowed without any connection to your will. In Adlerian psychology, however, lifestyle is a thought of as something that you choose for yourself.
That you choose for yourself.
Yes, exactly. You choose your lifestyle.
So not only did I choose to be unhappy, but I even went so far as to choose this wrapped personality too.
Absolutely.
Ah, now you are really pushing it. When I become aware, I already had this personality. I certainly don't have any recollection of having chosen it. But it's the same for you, isn't it? Being able to choose one's own personality at will. Now that sounds like you are talking about robots, not people.
Of course, you did not consciously choose this kind of self. Your first choice was probably unconscious, combined with external factors you have referred to. That is race, nationality, culture, and home environment. These certainly had a significant influence on that choice. Nevertheless, it is you who chose this kind of self.
I don't get what you are saying. How on earth could I have chosen it?
Adlerian psychology's view is that it happens around the age of 10.
Well, for argument's sake, and now I'm really going out on a limb, say that when I was 10, I inconsistently made this choice of lifestyle or whatever. Would that even matter? You can call it personality or disposition or lifestyle. But regardless, I had already become the kind of self. The state of things doesn't change at all.
That is not true. If your lifestyle is not something that you were naturally born with, but something you chose yourself, then it must be possible to choose it over again.
Now you are saying I can choose it all over.
Maybe you haven't been aware of your lifestyle until now, and maybe you have not been aware of the concept of lifestyle either. Of course, no one can choose his or her own birth. Being born in this country, in this era, and with these parents are things you did not choose. And all these things have a great deal of influence. You will probably face disappointment and start looking at other people and feeling, I wish I had been born in their circumstances. But you can't let it end there. The issue is not the past, but here in the present. And now you have learned about lifestyle, but what you do with it from here on is your responsibility. Whether you go on choosing the lifestyle you have had up till now or you choose a new lifestyle altogether, it is entirely up to you.
Uh, sorry. Yeah. Then how
Every
do I choose again? You are telling me you choose that lifestyle yourself. So go ahead and select new one instantly. But there is no way I can just change on the spot.
Yes, you can. People can change at any time, regardless of the environments they are in. You are unable to change only because you are making the decision not to.
What do you mean exactly?
People are constantly selecting their lifestyles. Right now, while we are having this teet a teet, we are selecting ours. You describe yourself as an unhappy person. You say that you want to change right this minute. You even claim that you want to be reborn as a different person. After all that, then why are you still unable to change?
or
It
other,
is, yeah,
I just lost Suman's voice for a while. Is that for
okay, okay.
everyone?
No, it's coming.
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
repeat
we
the line
couldn't.
again. Yeah, I will repeat the line again. You even claim that you want to be reborn as a different person. After all that, screen is lost.
Yeah, I saw there is some issue. Just give me a minute. Suddenly it stopped. Okay, I'll think we'll stop also after this part. It's already 7:50, like nearing to 7:50 now. So we'll just stop after this. Just give me a minute. I'll just check how much is there. Yeah, it's just this much. Okay, we'll stop after this. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, you even claim that you want to be reborn as a different person. After all that, then why are you still unable to change? It is because you are making the persistent decision not to change your lifestyle.
No, don't you see that's completely illogical? I do want to change. That's my sincere wish. So how could I be making the decision not to?
Although there are some small inconveniences and limitations, you probably think that the lifestyle you have now is the most practical one and that it is easier to leave things as they are. If you stay just like this, experience enables you to respond properly to events as they occur while guessing the results of one's actions. You could say it is like driving your old familiar car. It might rattle a bit, but one can take that into account and maneuver easily. On the other hand, if one chooses a new lifestyle, no one can predict what might happen to the new self or have any idea how to deal with events as they arise. It will be hard to see ahead to the future, and life will be filled with anxiety. A more painful and unhappy life might lie ahead. Simply put, people have various complaints about things, but it is easier and more secure to be just the way one is.
So one wants to change, but changing is scary.
When we try to change our lifestyles, we put our great courage to the test. There is the anxiety generated by changing and the disappointment attendant to not changing. I am sure you have selected the latter.
Wait, just now you used the word courage.
Yes, Adlerian psychology is a psychology of courage. Your unhappiness cannot be blamed on your past or your environment. And it is not that you lack competence, you just lack courage. One might say you are lacking in the courage to be happy. Yeah, the
Okay,
chapter is over.
we'll stop here and we'll open up for a discussion. So for whoever who have not read the first part yesterday, I would insist that you read the first 24 pages so you will understand this better. So this whole book starts on the ground of this Adrelian philosophy, psychology, that the author is trying to take us through, and it's very direct and very intellectual, and it really makes us think. And I just saw yesterday there are this some like if we see on the last pages there are some reflections. So this is like the first night. So it's like the book is divided into some four or five nights, and that's how the conversation is going on. So I think this is the first night that is going on, and I think they're covering different topics. So I don't know where the next night starts. It's still a while, but I'll just take you through the last pages. So there are these reflecting questions they have given us at the end of the book. So I'll just get ourselves to that. Yeah, see these questions. So once we are done with the first night, like deny trauma is a topic. It's topic wise divided. So there are these three questions we need to reflect on. So, first is like the youth, do you feel determined from the outset to reject the philosopher's theories? Why might that be? The second is everyone wishes they could change. The youth says, do you agree? If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be and why? Then what equipment do you possess? Assess how successfully on a scale from 1 to 10 you are using your equipment to bring happiness to your life in this moment. So these are the reflective questions that we should be reflecting on eventually, like by the time we come to the end of this one topic, like trauma. Then it jumps to the next topic called relationships and all. So the book, this is the flow of the book, just giving everyone a background. So yeah, we are open for discussion. Feel free to share your insights, anything that you would like to talk about.
Yeah, so we'll start because then I
Yeah,
will have a network issue.
yeah,
So
yeah, go on.
basically, not from the excerpts from the reading, but the reading style. I like it very much. Like in some phases, I just start feeling that that is the same question I will ask. If not written in the book, a philosopher is explaining to me, and it's very interesting. Like it may happen to philosophers, whoever plays the philosopher. So I am sure you are also feeling heavily that whatever the thoughts philosopher is saying, it's very interesting. I like it.
Yes, yes, yeah, I agree. And this makes it even interesting reading it in a dialogue style, na? Yeah, it's fun. Yes, yes. Yeah, Rajkumar sir, please go on.
See, first of all, congratulations to you and maybe Rajesh who gave this idea of reading the book this way. It is becoming the way it is written, the philosopher is giving the answer to what the youth is saying and easily understandable, and we can correlate with our day to day life. We get upset, we become angry, and all that is how easily it is manageable. So the example which we read today about spilling of tea by the crew person of a hotel, the person of the hotel and the person shouting, I think we can, all our anger we can correlate with this and how we can control that. Same thing can be said very very politely, and perhaps it will have a larger impact. So I feel the book is very good and I find it relevant to me. Whenever I look at a book, I feel it is for me. Like I am going through a situation where I feel I should adopt all this strategy. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, sir. And yes, yeah, actually, this is relevant to each one of us, right? Like these are day-to-day things that he's covering in a very intellectual way, and I feel the philosopher's approach is so direct. So if had it not been in a dialogue form, I just mentioned it yesterday also. Maybe we might have got a little defensive around accepting things, but because it is like a conversation, we are actually forced to think upon it. So that's a nice approach as such also, I would say, by the author. So yeah, I am liking it. It's a very different kind of book than whatever we have read so far. So it's interesting. So yeah, anyone else wants to add something, share something, any insights from today's reading?
Yeah, I want to share something on the same line. So the thing is, with this conversation, the bottom line is, is all about the mindset. It doesn't matter where you start. You start you are born rich or you are born poor and things like that. It's all about the mindset. And whatever you focus on through your flexible mindset, you can grow, you can expand it, right? So you don't have to worry about what people think and so many other things, because you cannot make everybody happy, right? But as long as you take the responsibility of living your purpose, owning your actions, owning your responsibility, and taking a conscious actions and a firm approach. Like, yes, this is what I want to be, and I think it's just like attract like. So whatever you focus on expands. So if you focus on your growth, you focus on your responsibility, you focus on achieving a firm goal, even the universe will support you. And using this changing the mindset and having a positive outlook towards life, you can live the life you want basically. So everything is within your reach through the right mindset. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, yes, yeah. That's what the core of the book is so far, what we understand. Yes. Anyone else wants to add something?
Yeah, I have one small share. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, yes.
Am I audible? Yeah. So the philosopher is asking about whether you are happy with yourself, whether you want to change. And in that context, I think they talked about pessimism, being a pessimist, calling ourselves as a pessimist, and my view of the world is pessimistic. There's a difference there. So I just it made a big impact on me. It was very impactful for me. So when we say I'm a pessimist, we are judging ourselves. And when we say my view of the world is pessimistic, there we can hope to change. We can bring about a different definition about ourselves and the world. So that is a little, hit me hard today. Thank you.
And one more thing I want to add, that we should learn from the working of the wall clock through our watch. Basically it's all about being taking small actions and being consistent with that. And the wall clock is doing the same thing every day, moving very slow, but at the end of the day it is making a big deal and doing the same thing again and again, and it is serving its doing its purpose. So same thing it applies to everybody, right? Sometimes our mind is not wired to take big actions, and we see that yaar tumse nahi ho payega, it is too high and things like that. But if you break that down in that activity into small actions, then it makes it workable, because this is how our mind works. Sometimes our mind is not ready to due to our experience of life so far, we are not wired to take big actions. But that's not a big deal. We can focus on break that down into small actions, and uh, making that those actions on a consistent basis. I think that can give a very big result over a period of time. So we should never undermine the power of small actions. And small actions, everybody can take that. It is that sometimes we try to do too much in less time, and we end up doing nothing. So we should focus on whatever is possible for me, take small actions, take a break, but do it consistently. I think this approach makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for adding that. Yes. Yeah. Anyone else wants to add something? Any insights from what we read today?
So for me, it was just a reflection of, like Aditya sir said, that you're going through it's like looking at a mirror and going through something, and uh, the struggle, the the change that needs to be brought in, why it is being so difficult, and seeing the mirror through it and realizing and understanding aspects about how it can happen. And I agree to the fact that we've learned it in NLP also, the identity. So you should never be identifying with something. I am this, right? So that is more difficult to change. If you are just saying that you are in that particular phase, or you are feeling something, you're not identifying yourself with that. That I'm sad. I'm in. I'm feeling sad, right? So that is something that can be worked upon than saying that I am a sadist. So yeah, so that this is just fortifying some aspects which I knew and was not maybe convinced enough to work on. So this is giving me another angle to look at things, a different aspect of it, different
philosophy or psychology, but the same message is coming. So that is my learning and the revelation that is experimental.
Thank you, Sunita.
So I totally believe, and I have had a lot of experiences in the past also, like that right things just come to us at the right time. And through books also, na, I have a lot of belief that through books, the right messages are always coming to us, and we somehow happen to just stumble upon the right book or the right page or whatever, because it's maybe the message for us at that point of time. And nowadays even videos, I would say, like since we are so much into reel watching and all of that, so it happens. And it's just about, I feel, if we are paying attention to it and we are grasping the message or not. But yes, I have experienced it a lot, and yes, I love the synchronicity. So yeah, very thank you for sharing that. It does happen, and it makes us reflect, right? Like something happens in our life and then we get similar kind of some message or something from somewhere else, and then we are made to forced to think upon it. So yeah, anything else anyone wants to add something, or we can just call it a day?
Mansi, yeah, I would like to say something.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
please go on.
Two things really struck me. First was the voice modulation, like a mother or like getting angry on the waiter. That example, no, he's quoted that you wanted to shout, so you got brought that anger inside you. So I feel that emotions could be controlled, and only to just that example really shows that the things which could be conveyed normally or which could be conveyed in a peaceful manner, we deliberately distort it. We are unable to manage our emotions at times. And see, the other example was of that phone call, how that lady was modulating her voice when the late phone call came. She was upset, and then how she became, she softened her voice, and later on it was again harsh on the child. So this is like everything is in our control, but we deliberately do something which offsets us. So this can be managed. Another thing was the finding meaning in life. So that is very important. If we are dwelling in the past, where we were born, why we were born, and so if this is the thing what we have got, we cannot do anything. If that pessimism or that thing is dwelling in our mind that there is no hope in life, we cannot move ahead. So we need to find a purpose in our life. We need to find the meaning why we are born, and then set the goals. What is what lies ahead? Then only we can move ahead. So this is like the philosopher is talking. Say, don't think of the past. Say, think of the equipment you have right now. In NLP also we say, try to find the resources what you have right now in the present. You need to work on those things. You need to work with those things. Then only there could be any change. If we are just dwelling in the past, it is not in our control. Future is in our control. Present is in our control. But the other thing, in spirituality also we talk about the karmas. See, the past, they always say ki, okay, it was last birth karma, so we were given this birth. So, but that doesn't mean that it is the end of the thing. You need to visualize why you have been given this birth and how you can reform it or how you can make it the way you want it. So get that happiness thing what he is talking, that the person, the youth is not finding happiness here. Why? Because he doesn't want to be happy. He is thinking that if I was born in another form, or if I had got that birth, that person's, I have a replacement that, then I would be happy. So it is not that the happiness is not there. It is there. We need to realize it. We need to find it within ourselves and with the things we have around. So these are the things really struck me. I really enjoyed that. It was kind of,
Yes.
yeah, repetition of so many things we have been learning so far about maybe Bhagavad Gita or the books, mean finding meaning in life and all those things. So that is important. That's
Yeah, yeah, very true. And it is basically like that part of phone call. It is basically that's how we it's also given an example na, like people say like you can you control your anger while when it's your boss in front of you, whereas or a client in front of you, whereas with your kids or people whom you can take for granted, so that also happens, right? So it's basically we control, we show our authorities through emotions, by controlling through emotions subconsciously, like maybe. So yeah, very true. And in fact, it's also about how we live through the patterns, right? So this book, the dialogue is actually helping us break out of those patterns that we might be giving ourselves excuses that, oh, I am like this, I'm like that, but actually it's just making us think deeper. So yeah, 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 thank you for sharing that. Yeah, is everyone done? Can we just call it a day, or you
Just
want to share something?
very sad. See, what I see is every day is we should take every experience of life, whether good or bad, is enriching your soul, uplifting your life. So we should never take every experience, whether failure or any bad experience, as a negative. It is just it is helping me to learn something, to lift me higher in life, like enriching my soul, all right, enriching my life. So every experience should be taken in a positive note, not like just holding on to it, ki, bhai, why it happened to me, why it happened to me. Just say it, this is what I learned from it, and it is helping me to live higher in life. So that should be the approach. So every day, you know, and so I think that's the gist of it. So we should take every experience as a learning and lift us higher every day. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah. So yeah, okay then, thank you everyone, see you all tomorrow. We'll continue with the book further from tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Have a great day.
Bye bye.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah,
Bye
thank
bye.
you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day everyone. Yeah, bye, take
Bye.
care.